Okay, we can go ahead and get started. I think you're muted. There you go.
Thank you. All right. Well, good afternoon. My name is Michael Dowry. I serve as receiver for the city of Chester. Today is Tuesday, September 26, 2023. We are gathered here for the Municipal Financial Recovery Advisory Committee meeting, MFRAC for short. As usual, joined here today by Mr. Andrew Sheaf on behalf of Governor Shapiro's office and the Department of Community and Economic Development, Ms. Kelly Diaz on behalf of Delaware County Council, and also Mayor Kirkland on behalf of the city of Chester, and Councilman Will Morgan also on behalf of the city of Chester. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And as usual, joined here by my chief of staff on this engagement, Mr. Vijay Kapoor. Apologies in advance if Mr. Kapoor's video is not working, but we will still move forward with the meeting. All right, so jumping in, everybody should have received a summary of the last MFRAC meeting as well as an agenda for today's discussion. We did not receive any public comment through the formal channels of info@chesterreceivership.com and or through the website. But as usual, those channels remain open and we'll continue to do so. And we will relay anything back to the committee that comes in addressed to the committee. Moving on from public comment, we have a general update, status of Receivers Recovery Plan provided by Mr. Kapoor. Mr. Kapoor, would you like to speak?
Sure. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here, and apologies again for the technical issues that I'm having. Just two short updates on where things are with some of the matters that we've been working on. As most of you probably remember, at a previous meeting, I think probably about a month ago, we talked about the receiver's approach to bankruptcy, as well as an update on where things stood, and where a lot of our effort was going, which was to develop what we've referred to as the number, which is that the baseline expenditure amount that we need in order to operate the city in an appropriate way in an ongoing basis. Work on that is continuing. We have I think gone through just about every department. We have a couple more left, but that appears to be at least on track. HRG is a consulting firm that the city has engaged, who are beginning to work on the capital analysis and the capital study, and we're in the process of getting an updated timeline from them. So work on the number continues. It's making progress, albeit slow progress. The final thing I just wanted to update the group on was there was a bankruptcy hearing about a week ago involving a couple of matters. The one that's probably that I'm just going to talk about today involves the matter involving the city's bondholder, Apollo, and with U.S. Bank. If you remember in the update that I presented about a month ago, there was talk about needing to have a trial that would probably take place in October. Based on the pleadings in that case, the judge has decided that there's not a trial that's needed, that she has the information that she needs to make the decision, and that she will be working on that over the next couple of months. So I think probably good news for everyone there. It certainly minimizes any legal fees that we have, which we're trying to be mindful about. But regarding the Preston Hollow and U.S. Bank issue regarding the city's bondholders, that is going to be decided by the bankruptcy judge, hopefully in the coming months. That is just the update that I have for the group. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone in the on the committee may have.
Mr. Kapoor, rather than provide another update related to the same matter, would you mind adding anything that can be shared about the ongoing operations, and also target the timeline for when a draft when do we think all of this will come together and a draft plan of adjustment may be introduced?
Well, the mediation process is obviously continuing. And again, that process is also almost on its own timeline. We hope to have the number again by mid-fall, and a draft plan of adjustment early next year. So that's where our timeline is right now. Again, a lot of this is kind of waiting on the number. A lot of this is waiting on some of the conversations that we're having with some of the groups in the mediation. So that's where that is. Again, I know that folks are looking for kind of target dates, or looking for dates that are specific dates, and as much as we'd like to be able to do that, we don't have those at the moment. And once we're able to kind of make more progress in a couple of these areas, we'll be more than happy to share it with folks. But that's the process of where we are right now.
Thank you, Mr. Kapoor. Does anyone of the committee, any committee member, have any questions of Mr. Kapoor?
Yeah, Mr. Receiver, I do. Just if he could speak at all to, so once the draft plan of adjustment is complete, what next steps look like after that?
Well, I mean, what would have to occur with that is conversations with the various creditors. The purpose of our approach has been and continues to be to try and come up with a consensus solution. There will obviously be different groups who have different ideas on what this may look like. I think that would be the next step here is to obviously be working with the creditors, talking with the various creditor groups, to get their view on this. Again, Mr. Sheaf, I think the contours of what we would like that plan to look like, was outlined, a couple of weeks ago. And so again, we're hopeful to be able to kind of drill down in a more kind of numerical way, and be able to put a little bit more, context to what we're looking at. But that would be the next step of once we have a draft plan from our end.
Thank you.
Right. Any other questions from the committee? All right, we'll move right into my update to the committee. As typical, I try to take advantage of any public meeting to encourage folks to apply for any one of the vacancies that are job postings that are on the city's website. We are actively recruiting for a number of positions, most notably a staff accountant, director of community and economic development, as well as a host of others, animal control, et cetera. So please tell a friend, encourage all to apply. The second update is on the 2024 budget adoption process. In line with developing the overall number for the plan of adjustment, we are also working towards developing the 2024 budget. The expectation is to introduce a draft budget to council and mayor, to the public, I believe it's October 6th, by the end of next week. And from there, we'll go through a formal adoption process with the goal of adopting a formal budget by the end of the calendar year, December 31st. Hopefully, we'll be well ahead of that, but we are all anxious to see what these numbers look like and the updates from the most recent 5-year projections. So the new city CFO, Jim Lathrop, as well as PFM are working hand in hand, along with the rest of city staff and every department to create the budget, and looking forward to that product. And then lastly, I'll just conclude with the wanting to continue to engage with the community, whether it be through our website or through direct contact, my cell phone, email, it doesn't matter. Please feel free to reach out. Willing to meet with any and all, as well as my team, to discuss anything receivership related, city finances, restructuring, et cetera. So we want to keep that invitation open and keep the lines of communication open as well. Does anyone have any questions for me? Right. Any general comments from the committee? Anything before we close? All right, well, hearing none, I thank you for another session. This concludes our September round. We will be back together again the second Tuesday of October to continue to meet. Have a good day.